Welcome to Game Set Matchup, the podcast where we talk everything partnerships, the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Hello everyone. This week on Game Set Matchup, we spoke to Rikesh Dattani from Latest Free Stuff. We talked about his experience, in his current role, Latest Free Stuff, and we talked about what a gold star partnership sort of really looks like for them. It's really sort of interesting. He talks about how they are attracting new brands to their platform, and being much more sort of proactive in that space, and using tools like Findr to help with that. He also shares some of his tips on partnership creation, and sort of maybe how he would have done things a bit differently, knowing what he sort of knows now, and those tips he would have given maybe to him sort of younger self, sort of starting out in that field. So really good episode. So just switch off your notifications for 15 minutes, put up a chair, and just join us as we talk about all things partnerships. Okay, so welcome to Game Set Matchups, podcast where we discuss all things partnerships. So today I'm your host, Carl Busby, and I'm joined by my co-host, Sarah Forrestal. Can we please welcome our guest today, it's Rikesh Dattani, who is the affiliate account manager at Latest Free Stuff. Rikesh, hello and welcome.
Thank you so much for having me, Carl. Thank you, Sarah. It's a pleasure to be here.
No, thank you for spending your time with us at Findr today. So I'll just quick little thing. Obviously, we've this is our first episode of season 3 today. So we have turned our cameras on so everyone can see our pretty faces. So if you are, if you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or whatever it is, you can actually view the video version on our new YouTube channel. So like I said, be sure to check that out if video is your thing. Anyway, right. So let's we'll just get down into some of the questions. Rikesh, so you just tell our listeners a little bit more about sort of who you are, your background, sort of what you do in your current role, and just a little bit more about Latest Free Stuff.
Sure, sounds great. So in terms of myself as an individual, I've previously worked in a number of different tech companies, software as a service companies, startups, and that's across a variety of different roles, everything from account management through to business development, marketing, customer service. So I've actually had quite a bit of a mix of experience, really. But I'd say that my current affiliate account manager position with Latest Free Stuff is a perfect platform for me to sort of combine the skills and sort of mix and merge the experience that I've had over the years. So far, I've been in the position for a number of months. I think I joined back at the start of March, so still relatively early days, but actually it's been a really exciting opportunity, a really great learning curve as well. And as an individual and as a massive people person and someone who actually takes a lot of pride in sort of building relationships and trying to kind of maximize the potential of those partnerships, I feel like this position is sort of the perfect platform really for me to work with a lot of different fantastic brands, lots of different networks, and with the kind of intention of promoting their campaigns to a wider audience. So as a creative individual as well, I feel like it's really exciting, and also gives me the opportunity to kind of think about how we position offers to our users, which is something that I've not had as much exposure in the past, but it's again a really exciting opportunity for me. And definitely really interesting to think about what we can do from our side to help the brands we work with to get the best return on the investment that they make with us. So I guess a little bit more about Latest Free Stuff and what we do. We're the UK's largest freebie website. So we reach over 1 million users each month. And we've got a community who are really dedicated and really passionate about freebies, about samples, competitions, and discounted offers. So we try our best to promote and to prioritize the best offers for them to ensure they have the best opportunities to save and make money where possible too.
Great, that sounds amazing. As I say, I had a little look at the sort of the website earlier. Obviously, you've got an app as well, which I'm sure is obviously very popular. So you've also got some was it like competitions on there, or you can in terms of getting like rewards and stuff for doing sort of certain things.
Exactly. We want to make sure that there's quite a few opportunities for people to take advantage of these offers. And I think competitions are really exciting, actually. It gives you a chance to win what hopefully will be a really exciting prize. You might have seen some of the ones that we are currently promoting that really do have some great, really, really exciting prices on offer. So yeah, from our side, we want to make sure our users have the best opportunities to take advantage of all of these and to have them all available in one place.
That's honestly so fantastic. And I really wanted to ask, how have you actually seen Latest Free Stuff approach change since you've been there? And when it comes to creating new partnerships, what would you actually say is a gold star partnership? What does that look like for Latest Free Stuff?
So that's a great question. I think in terms of how our approach has changed during my time here, I think we've become more proactive actually with our approach in terms of sourcing and finding new brands to partner with. I think when I first joined, we had a really reliant and reliable sort of network of brands that we would typically work with and had been working with over a number of years. But I think from our side, what was important was us constantly growing and scaling as a business. And part of being able to do that would be actually finding new partners, finding new brands that we could work with, and finding new opportunities to provide them the best results possible with the promotions that we do. So whilst we're seeing really, really great retention with the brands that we're already partnered with, we obviously want to be able to kind of build on that. We want to use that as a strong foundation and not only run multiple campaigns with the same providers and partners, but also kind of work with new brands to increase their exposure and effectively boost the traffic that we're sending their way. So I guess from our side, what we're trying to do is be more proactive with the approach. We've started using tools very much like Findr, which I'm, of course, a massive fan of. Hence, I'm very appreciative of the opportunity to be on the podcast. But I think it's obviously been really great for us in particular because it's allowed us to connect with key decision makers. And that's one of the barriers, I think, when we're trying to look for new brands to partner with. It's sometimes tricky to find who you need to speak to and who the best person to have that kind of conversation would be. So I think tools like this have been really, really effective for us. And also allowed us to actually consider new verticals. I think we work with a range of different brands across a lot of different spaces, but I think it's been really exciting to see the different types of brands that we can actually partner with and the different things we can do to kind of help them as well. And obviously what we want to do is promote new opportunities as well as obviously kind of continue running the campaigns that we've been running in the past. I think the Gold Star partnership for us is, I would say, a brand who can easily see the tangible effects and the value of running campaigns with us. We want it to be a brand who is able to, from our side, offer the most exciting, most interesting incentive for our users. And that's going to, of course, allow them to engage with the offer and ensure that they want to try the product or the service, whether it's a freebie or a sample or a competition. We want it to be an attractive prize or an attractive offer and something that's going to make a real difference to the users and be something they want to actually give a go to. But in addition to that, I think from our side, we want them to know that there is a tangible benefit in working alongside us and working with us. And that's the key part of it for being a Gold Star partnership, is a brand who recognizes the impact of promotions with us, can see the tangible effect it's having on the traffic they're generating for the offers, the number of redemptions, number of sales, however they might be measuring that, whichever metric they might use. We want to make sure that they know and they can recognize the value and the importance of that relationship with us as much as we can with them.
Yeah, no, that's really good. I think you make a, obviously really, really good point there. Obviously Findr, we're all about partnerships. That's everything, we're obviously trying to do. Obviously, we talk to lots of different businesses all the time. And, it's one of the, it's one of the key things to be able to just see, that both, parties are obviously getting something out of it. Otherwise, it's more of a transaction. And like you said, just being able to see real world sort of tangible stuff that can, potentially come out of it. You obviously touched on there about what, makes a sort of could be a gold partnership, which makes absolute perfect sense. And you did just touch on, like I said, how you go creating them. Obviously, you've mentioned Findr, which obviously is, obviously what we do. We're all about creating partnerships. But I said before we use Findr, was what other sort of methods or ways have you maybe tried, in the past in terms of trying to, create partnerships for business or maybe previous businesses that you've been at?
So I think it's been a bit of a kind of range of different ways that we've looked to approach kind of creating new partnerships. Really, I think we've used a range of different sources. We've tried outreach, we've tried lead generation, but we've also looked at more organic growth and things like referrals and inbound inquiries. And so that's been really exciting to see kind of the effect and the impact from both sides. I think when we're being proactive with our search, we're utilizing our resources and the different channels that we can explore to find new partners to build a relationship with. That's been really, really great from our end. But it's also been really nice to see that people in the industry and people across different verticals as well have recognized some of the work we've done with different brands and with different offers, being able to promote them to a wide audience and being able to kind of build on the engagement and the excitement that those offers are getting as a result. And as such, we've actually seen a number of brands come to us. And that's been brands who have been referred by partners that we've already been working with. Or it's been inbound inquiries where they've got in touch with us and they've mentioned that they have this offer. They're obviously really keen to ensure that it goes out to as big an audience as possible, be that to increase their sort of brand awareness in the early parts of their sort of infancy, or maybe just to kind of make new users aware of kind of a new product or new service that they might be looking to highlight and to sort of bring to the fore and bring to people's attention. So from those sides, it's really nice to see that people are recognizing the impact of the work that we do. People are obviously seeing that there's a lot of benefits to running campaigns with us. And that's been really, really great from our side. And I think that in tandem with our sort of proactive approach where we are looking to outreach to brands where we think there's a really exciting opportunity there, I think those two go really, really well hand in hand. And I think they allow us to continue scaling the business in the way that we want to, and hopefully allow us to keep bringing on new partners as a result.
And Rikesh, and for all the budding partnerships people listening, what advice would you give to your younger self starting out? Perhaps the do's and the don'ts of partnership creation and development?
I think I would advise my younger self and all of the listeners actually as well to not try and run before you can walk. I think every partnership, even those that are the strongest, need time to grow and to evolve and to effectively become what they do. And so I think it's really important in this particular environment, within my role in particular as well, to be patient and not to kind of expect results to come at a click. Obviously, life would be a lot easier if that was the case. But I think for me, it's important to have that resilience and to know that sometimes there might be things that don't quite work. And the service that we provide or the service that the listeners provide might not be perfect for everyone. And that's okay. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. I think that's a really priceless opportunity to sort of learn and adapt accordingly. And for us, what we always try and do is use that as an opportunity to see if there's changes we can make, if there's anything we can do from our side to optimize the performance and use that insight to just better ourselves moving forward. It might not be that our solution is a one size fits all, but we want to make sure that we can adapt it accordingly and work with brands in the best way. So we're providing not only a personalized service, but also the most effective and efficient service to all of the brands that we work with. And I think in addition to that, in terms of advice I would offer to my younger self and I guess all the budding partnerships professionals who are in earlier stages in their career, perhaps, is to be fearless, actually, to not be too concerned about the repercussions of trying to spark a conversation with brands, irrespective of kind of how big they may be or what their product or service might be or their position in the market. I think every company starts from scratch, and we've known this firsthand. I've seen this throughout my career. And I think the key to building effective partnerships is identifying those potential opportunities, taking that initial leap of faith. So I always say it's worth taking a chance. You never know who you could end up working with, and you never know just how great that partnership could become.
That's really, really, really good advice there. I think I think patience is definitely one of the key things. I mean, obviously, we're obviously a startup ourselves, and there's lots of things that you sometimes you do, and you just sort of you want things to happen overnight, and unfortunately, that's not how things work. It does, it takes time. And you do come up against obviously some issues sometimes, but it's just all about, as I said, just being resilient and just got to go again, try something new, try something different, and just doing different things. So really good advice. So just to slightly change up just a little bit. So I'd say, what do you sort of top tips, if any, when it comes to sort of creating sort of high performing teams and like winning cultures, within your workplace?
I think culture is massively important. And I think for me, one of the biggest things to do as an individual and as a team is to stay humble and grounded. But I think at the same time, you want to make sure you're driven and determined. I think the idea is for me to aim high, sort of appreciate and respect the journey. I don't think it's necessarily about the destination. It's more about kind of optimizing the process that you're working on and providing every step of the way. So for me, I think what is really important to creating high performing teams and a winning culture is not being afraid to make mistakes, because actually mistakes can sometimes be the best things that happen to you, so long as you learn from them. And that's really important. I think having individuals around you as well who have a similar work ethic, who have a similar desire to succeed and to learn and to evolve, that's really, really important, because on an individual level, everyone has their own strengths and naturally their own weaknesses. But I think collectively, if you combine those strengths, you can create a really, really powerful, really high performing and really effective team. And that's massively important to me. I think it's finding the right individuals, and I think it's ensuring they have the environment to grow and to flourish. And also an open environment, I think, is massively important as well. I think it's really, really important that everyone in the team, irrespective of their role, their experience, or how recently they may have joined, does have the opportunity and does have the kind of confidence to be able to voice their thoughts. And if they have any questions and concerns, likewise. Because I think it's really important from a senior position to be able and willing to listen. I think it's really important as well to be able to change based on the information you're provided. And it might be that that insight and that information comes from someone you may not expect it to come from, someone who may have actually had more of an external perspective on the situation because they've only recently joined the team and only recently had that kind of insight into the kind of culture and what it is you guys do. So that's where I think it is especially important to allow the team really to make mistakes. And it's something I try and kind of always focus on myself, because I think by making mistakes, you can always have an opportunity to learn. You can always have an opportunity to try something. And I think trying new things, particularly with regards to creating partnerships, is massively important. I think it's really, really exciting to know that there's new ways things can be done. And from our side, we want to be able to try new things. We want to be able to almost set trends and to be able to kind of identify new opportunities that perhaps other people haven't been able to see just yet. So I think that's really, really important to us in terms of building that sort of winning culture and building a really high performing team across the board. I was just going to add, actually, I think the other thing that's really, really important from our side really is actually acknowledging and recognizing the efforts of other people in the team. I think it's something that people sometimes take as a bit of a given. And I know when there's something that goes wrong, sometimes it's a bit easier to highlight that than it is necessarily to recognize where someone's done something right. I think that's massively important to me, not only as an individual, but also as part of the team that I'm in. I think it's really, really great to let people know they've done a great job. And if there is room and scope for improvement, embrace it with them. Let them know. Keep that perhaps as a conversation maybe in private, but that way you're allowing your team to know that they can trust you, they can trust the team around them as well. And hopefully you're going to have a culture whereby people think and want to work with you, and they know that what you're working towards is something that aligns with their views and their beliefs as well.
I love that. Yeah, it is so important to have that culture. It affects everyone, and happy team, is a happy workplace. So I really, really do like that. And just to round us off, one last question. What does the future hold for businesses when it comes to creating partnerships with each other? What, if anything, will you and the latest free stuff be going to do differently?
So I think there's an ever-growing pool of different social media platforms, different digital marketing tools. There's more places than ever really to build and create partnerships. And so for us at Latest Free Stuff, we're really keen to keep exploring new opportunities and new platforms that allow us to connect with a wider range of brands that we could work with. So tools like Findr have been invaluable in sort of opening new doors and just providing new opportunities and giving us new insights that we may not have been able to consider before. I think with our current approach, the combination of the outreach that we do, as well as the kind of organic inbound inquiries that we get, is an approach that works for us. But I wouldn't say that we're resting on our laurels or we're sort of thinking that we've cracked the code per se. I think we're always really keen internally to keep developing our methods of developing and kind of delivering campaigns and maximizing the return on the investment, both as an organization and as partners to the brands that we work with. So I think what we're trying to do is keep growing and scaling the business, but we want to keep a close eye on the developments within the market, within the industry as a whole. I think that's the important thing, because we want to make sure we try and stay ahead of the curve where we can. We want to set new trends. We want to identify opportunities where they're available. And ultimately, we want to do what we can and be as proactive as we can so we can continue latest free stuff's growth. And hopefully that will allow us to promote even more exciting new offers to our users. And hopefully the brands that we work with will continue to grow in the way that we hope we do too.
That's absolutely brilliant, amazing stuff. Yeah, I mean, I said I just resonate with that. It's just same here at Findr. We're always trying to, we never sort of stop. There's always looking at different things or different aspects and ways we can, obviously grow Findr. And I think it's just, like you said, there are so many different ways, different methods now, things you can do, sort of different channels to try and sort of, target that stuff. So, like I said, everything you said there makes a lot of sense. Well, like I said, we've, come to the end of our, end of the podcast. I said, I just want to say, real big thank you to Rikesh for taking up the time to come and speak to us. I think it's been, absolutely amazing. Our first one on video as well. So a round of applause for everyone.
Thank you very much. Honestly, it's been an absolute pleasure, Colin. So same to you, Sarah. It's been an absolute pleasure. So thanks so much for having me.
All right. Yeah, thanks a lot, Rikesh. Again, look forward to working with you.
Absolute pleasure. Thanks so much.
Thanks for joining this week's Game Set Matchup. Tune in to hear more about the need to knows and the do's and don'ts when it comes to creating successful business partnerships.